Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the North Coast Section CIF playoff football game tonight between the Piedmont Highlanders and the Fort Bragg Timberwolves. It's round one of the playoffs. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves come in here undefeated in league play. And in their league, the NCL1, two other teams qualified for the playoffs, St. Helena and also Middletown. And Fort Bragg beat both those teams. Fort Bragg comes in seeded 5, and they're playing the 12th seed Piedmont Highlanders. Piedmont comes up here after losing 3 straight games. They were 5-5 in league play. Their enrollment is 827 students. They play against teams that have much bigger enrollment in their schools. So it should be a pretty good game here tonight from Piedmont, even though you wouldn't know it from their record. Now for the Fort Bragg Timberwolves, they finished undefeated in league, 9-1 in the season. Their only loss came to St. Bernard's, and they have an outstanding team. They run a veer option offense. They can throw. They basically run the football, but they rely on their defense, their 3-5 defense, to keep field position and keep them in the games. Most of the time, the opposing teams only manage to score maybe a touchdown or two, 13 points at the most against this Timberwolf team, except the Willits game, where the Wolverines were able to drop a pretty good score on the scoreboard before Fort Bragg came back and beat them by a point in a thrilling finish. So we're ready for some football. I'm Lindy Peters. Thanks for joining us here on the Skunk FM. It's playoff football coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, and now let's take a look at these two teams going into action tonight. First, the Fort Bragg Timberwolves, coached by Roy Perkins. The Timberwolves finished the season 9-1. They run a veer option offense, particularly running the ball off that. Occasionally, Tyler Ashby will roll off that veer option and throw the football. And if they have to go to a passing game, they'll go to a strict drop-back passing game. Tyler Ashby, their junior quarterback, wears number 2. He'll take the snap, run one way or another, either give it to the first man coming through, which is usually Jacob Clark. He's the big up back in that backfield when they run the veer option. Or he'll pitch it or give it to Zach Smith, who wears number 28. Zach Smith, 8 times this year, has run the football more than 70 yards, and he has been an electrifying force on the Timberwolves offense. Fun to watch. He's little, but he's fast, and when he gets good blocking, he can make his own moves and make defenders miss. Sometimes he doesn't even need a block. He just fakes the defender out himself. And it's been fun to watch him this year. When they do throw the football, tight end is Reed Monson, who does a fine job blocking. Todd Waugh, wide receiver Brandon Palmer, and Ty Vaughn. Those are your 3 wide receivers. Jacob Clark is at up back and does an outstanding blocking job in front of Zach Smith when, in fact, he does carry the football. So look for that veer option. Look for the ball carriers primarily being Tyler Ashby, Jacob Clark, and Zach Smith. And occasionally they will throw out of that. Their defense is a 3-5. They've got Jacob Clark, who really is disruptive on that defensive line. Along with him is Eric Harrion and Neil Dondeville. Those 3 have really done a great job controlling the line of scrimmage this year. And defensively, the linebackers with Jeff Francis and Jeffries have done an outstanding job cleaning up and making tackles. Zach Smith's also done a great job on defense. So that's the Fort Bragg Timberwolves, seeded number 5. They're the home team tonight here at Timberwolves Stadium. Now we'll take a look briefly at the Piedmont Highlanders, who are up here from Piedmont. First off, hey, both these teams have the same team colors. Piedmont, the visiting team, is wearing their traveling white jerseys with their purple numerals and their purple trim. Their head coach is Kevin Anderson, and the Piedmont Highlanders 5-5 in league play. They play in the Alameda Shoreline League. Like I said, that's a league that plays bigger schools than typically Fort Bragg would play in the regular season. They finished the season with 3 straight losses, and in their last game they got beat 31-0. But this is the playoffs. This is a smaller school they're playing. Again, the enrollment at Piedmont is about 300 students more than Fort Bragg, not to make any excuse in advance, but just to give you an idea why a 5-5 team is up here playing a team that's 9-1. You're wondering how they qualified for the playoffs. Well, that's how. This is a good football team. They run the spread offense. You'll see it here tonight. Might be a little difficult on this field. It's a little wet. There might be some rain. That football might get a little heavy. We'll see if they can run that spread offense. It's kind of a precision offense. It's sometimes tough to run when the weather's not that good. Defensively, they'll run a 5-3, a 4-3, sort of a multiple set defense. And the Timberwolves, with that veer option, will look for weaknesses in that defense and try and exploit it. And if the Timberwolves get ahead early with the the defense they've been playing this year, they've been able to put most teams away. So look for a good battle, and if Fort Bragg can get ahead early, the Timberwolves might be able to control this game. We're getting set now for the coin toss. We're going to take another break. I'm Lindy Peters, North Coast Section Football Playoff Action rebroadcast Saturday morning on the Skunk. The Piedmont Highlanders, the Fort Bragg Timberwolves coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the North Coast Section Football Playoff game. It's the first round here at Timberwolves Stadium. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves getting set to take on the Piedmont Highlanders. The co-captains are gathered at the center field now. The Timberwolves being introduced by the PA announcer here. But the Timberwolves sent Eric Harrion, Reed Monson, Tyler Ashby, and Zach Smith out there to toss the coin along with the coaching staff. Piedmont out there as well. And the officials, of course, when it is a playoff game, they have officials that have earned the right to be here, that have been high school officials for many years and have been in pressure situations before. So these aren't your usual high school official teams. We should see some good officiating here tonight. Not to knock the officiating we've had this year, but this should step up another level when it comes to those guys wearing the stripes on the field. So we'll wait here for the coin toss now as we get set to go. It's pretty chilly here tonight, a little bit breezy, but not bad. It seems almost more like a gusty wind than a steady wind, so it shouldn't come into play. And like I said, there is a chance of some rain, so we might see some precipitation here at some point.
Number 64.
I want to remind you folks we're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM, giving you folks a chance on a Saturday morning to enjoy the action here Friday night at Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters. Our engineer here is Terry Vaughn.
Charles Twain.
And our radio engineer back at our studios, John Rio. So our thanks to Terry Vaughn and John Rio for helping to make this possible. The co-captains out there, Teddy Heafy, linebacker for the Highlanders, as we look across the way now. Also, William Meredith is out there. The other numbers a little bit obscured from my view here at this time, but they're being shown the coin now as they get ready for the toss. So here we go as we get set. All right, so the coin's been tossed. Let's see. It looks like Fort Bragg has won the toss.
And elected to receive.
And how about that? They got the officials mic'd here tonight as well. So the Timberwolves win the toss. They're going to receive the football. Out there was Stephen Tully. And also out there was Charles Twan. So those are the folks for the co-captains from Piedmont that came out to center field there along with the referees for that coin toss. And we're all set to go. We're going to have our national anthem coming up, so we'll take one more break here before we come back with the kickoff and some football. I'm Lindy Peters, rebroadcasting today's playoff game between the Piedmont Highlanders and the Fort Bragg Timberwolves, and we'll come back and return with football here in just a moment. Welcome back. We're all set for the kickoff now to begin this North Coast Section playoff football game. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning. It's Friday night at Timberwolves Stadium. A good crowd, as you can hear in the background here. Set to kick off is Ale Chiodo, Zach Smith, and Todd Wall deep to receive. Chiodo kicking from his 40-yard line. Timberwolves wearing dark purple. Their home uniforms. It's a ground ball kick, and Wall lets it go all the way into the end zone, where it's a touchback, and the Timberwolves will start on the 20. So that's a good kick by Chiodo that time, because the Timberwolves special teams have been pretty good, especially on their kickoff return. So the Timberwolves will start it off 1st and 10, the ball at their own 20-yard line as we get set to go here tonight.
Chiodo kicks the ball into the end zone.
I want to thank the sponsors that made this game possible tonight, to bring you Timberwolves playoff football here. So here we go as the Timberwolves break huddle. Todd Wall splits out left, Brandon Palmer out right, Zach Smith and Jacob Clark in the I formation behind Ashby, and the Timberwolves right away. Something happened there. Either the ball was snapped early or one of the...
False start. Offense.
False start as Coach Roy Perkins tells his team to just calm down out there. It looked like that... somebody moved on the line of scrimmage and the center snapped the ball. And that was a little bit confusing and almost looked like a fumble there, but not the way you want to start the game. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. That 5-yard penalty takes it back to the 15-yard line. The Timberwolves come out once again, this time one back, Zach Smith behind Ashby. Man in motion, that's LeBeau. Give is to Smith, right side, breaks a tackle, gets outside, bounces his way up close to the 25-yard line, and a nice pickup that time as he picks up about 7 or 8 yards.
Tackle made by number 53.
So that'll set up 2nd down and about 6. That's about a 9-yard pickup that time.
9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and
just underway here. First quarter, no score. Fort Bragg and Piedmont, North Coast section, round 1 here of the playoffs. From Timberwolves Stadium, Ty Vaughn and Josh LeBeau split way out here to the left. Clark splits out to the right. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby. There's the pitch to Smith coming around the left side. He's got a block, steps inside, and gets close to the 1st down. I think he's got it. Up to the 34-yard line, and it is a Timberwolves 1st down where they mark it. Actually about the 33. So 2 carries and a 1st down for Zach Smith and the Timberwolves on offense. First quarter, 11-17 to go here.
At the 33-yard line.
Coach Roy Perkins, after that first play resulted in a 5-yard penalty, told his team to calm down a little bit. So they've moved the chains once. 1st and 10. Ashby at quarterback. Fakes the give. Keeps it himself around the right side. Cuts outside. Runs into his old man. He's across the 50. Down to the 45. Nice carry by Ashby that time and good deception in the backfield. Most of the Piedmont defenders didn't realize he had the football that time, and Ashby made some nice moves across midfield. LeBeau trying to get a block for him that time. The two almost ran into each other a bit, but it was a nice carry, and the Timberwolves get another 1st down. Now they're in Piedmont territory at the 46-yard line. I mentioned at the outset it'd be important if Fort Bragg could get ahead of this football game. They've got the football after getting the 2nd 1st down of the series at the Piedmont 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Ashby pitches back to Smith around the left side. Gets a kick-out block from Wall. He's got some good yardage across the 30. Down to the 26-yard line before he's finally driven out of bounds that time. That was Charles Tawan who drove him out of bounds, but not before Smith picks up a nice gain. About an 18-yard gain down to the 26-yard line where it'll be 1st down Timberwolves. So Zach Smith with another nice carry that time. And he lines up as a lone back behind Tyler Escher. No, I'm sorry, Clark is in front of him. It's the I formation now with Clark the up back on this play. 1st and 10. Ashby gives to Clark, and the big guy bucks his way forward for about 5 or 6 yards, close to the 20-yard line, down to about the 21. So just straight ahead football from the Timberwolves on that carry, 6 yards, and it's going to be 2nd down and 4. The ball now down to the Piedmont 21-yard line.
2nd and 4 for the Timberwolves.
Stephen Tully across the defensive line for Piedmont, along with the rest of the crew there. We'll get to him when we can. So it's 2nd down now and about 4 for the Timberwolves at the 21. Ashby sends a man in motion. That's LeBeau. The give is to Smith around the right side, and this time he's tackled from behind. Nice tackle that time by Twan.
The ball carrier. Tackle made by number 45, Charles Twain.
So no gain that time, and it's going to set up 3rd down and 5 for the Timberwolves. They're down at the Piedmont 21-yard line. We're just underway. It's the first quarter here. 9:36 to go. I'm Lindy Peters. You're listening to a rebroadcast of this high school football game. Big playoff game tonight, 1st round. Fort Bragg has it now. 3rd down and 5 at the 21. 2 men split out left. 2 backs behind Ashby at quarterback. His pitch is to Smith. He gives him a bad pitch, and Smith is hit after he was down. You can hear the crowd want a flag there, but the officials aren't going to call it. When Smith hit the ground with his knee, the ball was down right there. A mishandled pitch that time, and the slick field may have had something to do with it, but the net result is going to be 4th down and 10 for the Timberwolves. The ball out at the 27-yard line. Takes them out of
27-yard line.
Decent position to get a 1st down. Now it's going to have to be a long play here, and we might see the Timberwolves put it in the air. Palmer splits out to the right, that is. Todd Wall splits out left. Reed Monson tight end on the left side. He's got Clark and Smith in the backfield behind Ashby at quarterback. 4th and 10, they go for it. Ashby, play action fake, rolls to his right, looks. Now he throws, got a man open, incomplete. Threw it just behind him. That was Monson who couldn't make the catch that time. A flag is down, however.
Tyler Ashby's pass is incomplete.
Let's see what this penalty is about. It's either going to be a hold on the Timberwolves or maybe a late hit on Ashby. Let's see.
Holding, offense number 53. That penalty
That's a holding. So
of
that
play.
penalty is declined, and the Piedmont Highlanders have stopped the Timberwolves And they have it 1st and 10. As Piedmont takes over the ball at about the 26-yard line.
At the 26-yard line.
So 8:31 to go, first quarter. The Piedmont Highlanders will get the football for the first time. We'll look at their offense. Spencer Kim will be at quarterback running the spread offense. Kyle Dalton, the running back, you can watch for him. Also William Meredith. Here's that spread. 2 men out left, 2 men out right. Shotgun formation. Man comes in motion now. Loading up strong on the right. Long count. There's a give. Guy goes right up the middle that time. Picks up about 3 or 4 up across the 30-yard line. Let's see who that was.
Kyle Dalton, the ball carrier.
Dalton, the ball carrier.
Highlanders. Brings the ball up to the 26-yard line.
Game of about 4, it'll be second down and 6 now. 8:13 to go, first quarter. The Timberwolves and the Piedmont Highlanders. Piedmont has just got the ball as Fort Bragg turned it over on downs. And here comes that spread offense again. 2 men split out left, 2 men split out right. Shotgun formation, man comes in motion again, strong here to the right now. And again, trying to spread out that Timberwolf defense. There's a snap. Man gives, stumbles for a moment, got some big... Well, had a block, it looked like a big block coming in front of him, but it was closed off nicely by Monson that time, and he didn't get a first down. He got close. It looked like he was going to get it, but he was stopped there, and it's going to be 3rd down and short. 3rd down and about 2 now. Ball at their own 34-yard line. So this is a big play for Fort Bragg defensively, and they're on that point of the field where it is a little slick, right out in the middle. At between about the 30-yard line and about the 50-yard line on this side of the field, the left side of the 50-yard line, north side, it's a little slick. Here's the snap. He's going to run with the football. Monson trying to get him from behind. He can't. Smith comes up to make the tackle, and he's got him, and they stack him backwards, and the Timberwolves have held him. On a big 3rd down and short, they lost a yard, setting up 4th down and short. And with the ball at their own 34-yard line, I imagine that the Piedmont Highlanders will elect to punt here. Nice play by Clark, who initially stopped him, and then Smith came up to provide some good defensive momentum that time and push him back away from the first down marker. So Spencer Kim tried to keep it that time for Piedmont, but he was thwarted, and it sets up 4th and short. The Timberwolves still kind of just waiting to see if they are, in fact, going to punt. Kim, their quarterback, is also their punter. Nobody back for Fort Bragg. Now Zach Smith goes back as Kim, the punter, takes a snap. He does punt it away. End over end kick. Smith's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Piedmont bounce all the way inside the 10 down to about the 5-yard line where it's downed. So the Timberwolves are going to have it deep in their own territory. First down at their own 5-yard line for the second time when they have the football. That's another part of the field down there at the 5-yard line where it is a little bit muddy. By and large, the south part of this field from the 50-yard line going south is pretty good. However, right close to where that football is, which is down at the 5-yard line, the Timberwolves do have a little bit of rough or slick field off to the right hash mark. So let's see what happens. There's 6:20 to go, first quarter, no score. The Timberwolves have it for the second time at their own 5. So they have to play mistake-free. Ashby takes the snap, gives it to Smith over the right side, and he gets some yardage up to close to the 10-yard line, but not much that time. About a 3-yard pickup, setting down second down and about 7. That's that play sometimes where Smith gets in a crowd and suddenly breaks free. It's going to be tough for him on this field as well because it is a little bit slick. And when you're relying on cuts to break free on long runs, as he does, it might be hard to cut on this field. All right, second down and 7. Now the Timberwolves the ball out at about their own 7-8-yard line. Ashby gives to Smith, left side. He breaks one tackle, gets across the 15 out to the 16-yard line, close to a first down. And a nice run by Zach Smith as he was able to get the first down. Coming up, Austin's son from a safety position that time had to help finish him off for the Highlanders. So it's first and 10 for the Timberwolves. The ball out at the 17-yard line now. They got a little breathing room. They're not backed up against their own goalpost. 5:24 to go. First quarter, no score. Tyler Ashby takes a snap. Pitches back to Smith. Right side. He's got Clark in front of him as a blocker. Cuts inside. Gets to the 30. Still on his feet to the 35. To the 40. And across to 40. Up. Close to the 40 anyway. To about the 38-yard line. Another first down for the Timberwolves, and Sun made a saving tackle that time for Piedmont, or Clark might have been off to the races. Beautiful run that time as he cut back and was able to get some grip on the field with his cutback that time and almost broke that one all the way. So from the 17-yard line out to the 33, about a 16-yard pickup for Smith. 4:56 to go first quarter. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM. It's the playoffs, Piedmont and Fort Bragg. I'm Lindy Peters, Friday night here at Timberwolves Stadium. 1st and 10. Ashby keeps it. Left side. Hurdles one tackler and then gets up close to the first down before he's thrown down. Ty Vaughn and Austin Sun going at it a little bit after the whistle that time. The ball up close to the first down mark to about the 48-yard line. Let's call it the 47, so it'll be 2nd down now and 1 for Fort Bragg. Ashby that time, nice play, sort of almost a counter step, keeping it at quarterback. He started to his right for a second and then to his left, and a nice move that time. So it's 2nd down and short now. Clark and Smith in the backfield behind Ashby. The give, no, Ashby fakes to Clark, keeps it himself, and is tackled for a loss that time. I think that was Garrett. Not sure who that was for Piedmont.
Number 56. Baker Collins.
Anyway, a loss of a couple yards, so now it'll set up 3rd down at about 5, or 3rd and 4, I guess that is. Ball back at the 44-yard line of Fort Bragg. So the Timberwolves have been moving the football pretty well, but they sputtered a little bit on their first offensive series, and right now this is a big play. 3rd down and 4. Ashby gives to the first man through, and his momentum is going to get him close to the first down, but I don't believe he got it, although Coles, the offensive lineman for the Timberwolves, seems to feel he did. Smith was the ball carrier, but it looks like it is going to be short. I don't know if they'll measure. I don't think they'll need to measure it. So the ball close to midfield, and Fort Bragg looks like they're going to go for it here. They might try and see if they can draw Piedmont offsides. I'm Lindy Peters. This is the Skunk FM. You're listening to a rebroadcast of this North Coast Section playoff game, round 1. It's 4th and 1. The ball at their own 48-yard line, and Fort Bragg calls a timeout. 2:57 to go here in the first quarter, and we'll keep it right here in this timeout. Timberwolves Stadium, the site of this first round North Coast Section CIF playoff game, and good crowd here tonight, even though the weather was pretty bleak here today. It was really raining earlier. Right now, no rain in the skies. It's still a chance maybe of some rain a little later on, but we want to thank our Timberwolves sponsors, including Randall Heating and Sheet Metal, Fort Bragg Transmission, The Woods, Bob Bruce Dentistry, Purity Supermarket, Ryan Perkins, Attorney at Law, Kaido Fisheries, Lot and Brake and Wheels, Team Insurance and Financial Services, Angelina and TW's Grill and Bar, and the Jerry Mello Foundation. Thanks to all of you to make this possible, to bring this game on the airwaves. All year long, we've been rebroadcasting Timberwolves football at 10 a.m. here on the Skunk. No different tonight, it's the playoffs. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves appear to be going for it. And Ashby keeps it right up the middle and is close to the first down, I believe, before he was pushed back. It depends on where they mark it, but it looks like the official on the far side of the field marked it past the first down mark. This might call for a measurement. Now, they are, in fact, going to bring out the chains. So it's right at the 48-yard line, and the Timberwolves gambled that time. Ashby kept it up the middle, had a good initial surge, but then was pushed back. Piedmont was with a decent size advantage, it looks like, across the line there, or at least close. Fort Bragg certainly not any bigger than they are. And here come the chains. They stretch it across. And boy, they can't even tell. It is a first down. It must be by just the nose of the football. We couldn't see. We were obscured by one of the officials who was marking that ball. So, Roy Perkins' first gamble of the night, similar to the Oregon Ducks offense up there in college football. He goes for it on 4th and short. He gets a first down. The chains get moved. The Timberwolves retain the football. First quarter, 2:52 to go. No score. Fort Bragg has it 1st and 10. The ball at their own 48-yard line. Smith and Clark in the I formation behind Ashby. And the give is to the first man coming through, and he goes right up the middle across midfield. I don't think that was Clark, though. I mentioned he was in the backfield. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, Clark wasn't the sideline that time, but I was not sure who was carried the football, but they got about 3 yards. It's second down and 7. It's in Piedmont territory down to the 49-yard line. Clark in the game now, along with Smith. Smith alone back. Ashby has 3 men split out to the left in this formation. The pitch is to Smith, coming this way. Gets one block, trying to get outside. Son tries to cut him down, and oh, that's one time where he slipped on the field and may have really turned the corner and got a big gainer, but instead he picks up about 7 or 8 yards, actually about 8 yards, setting up third down gains about 5 yards, setting up third down and 2. So 1:43 to go first quarter. The ball's at the Piedmont 44-yard line. Third down and about 2 for the Timberwolves. No score in this game. Clark and Smith in the I formation behind Ashby. Ashby is going to throw. Rolls back. Got a man wide open. Palmer makes the catch. He's at the 20, to the 15. 1 man to beat. Touchdown, Timberwolves! As Tyler Ashby throws the football to Brandon Palmer, and the Timberwolves score first. 6-0 Fort Bragg first quarter with 1:19 to go. Beautiful play, set up nicely by the fact that the Timberwolves have been running the football and running the football and running the football, and that time Ashby with time to throw. Beautiful pass. Granted, the man was wide open, but Palmer almost had to wait for the football before he had to then outrun the safety to the end zone. Here's the extra point. The snap, the spot, the kick is up, and it is just good as Portillo gets it over the goalpost, and that's a big extra point. Bragg 7, Piedmont nothing. We'll keep it right here for the moment. As the Timberwolves went for it on 4th down, you got to go back to that decision by Coach Roy Perkins. And it wasn't long before they were in the end zone, and they've now got themselves a 7-point lead. So the Timberwolves getting set to kick off now as Eric Perrion, their captain, co-captain, places the tee at the 40-yard line. Remember, they play 12-minute quarters here in high school football. And this home crowd, excited by that play. You could see that he was open. It was just a matter of could he get the pass there, and it was just a nice pass as Ashby with the man. Sometimes when you're a quarterback and the guy's so open, you almost, muff your throw. But beautiful pass from Ashby, and the Timberwolves lead it 7-0. All right, we're ready to kick off. 2 men deep for the Highlanders, and ground ball kick from Harrion, and it's through one of the up man. Dalton picked up in the back by about the 24, 25-yard line by Michael Tam. For the Highlanders, Tam, a short return, and Piedmont will have it 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. A rebroadcast of this playoff game here on the Skunk FM on a Saturday morning. I'm Lindy Peters. Thanks for making us part of your day. We are your sports leader here for Mendocino County. We'll have the 49ers and the Rams tomorrow afternoon at 1:25. So Piedmont gets it now as run that spread offense again. Spread way out to the left this time. Now, again, they shift and overload to the left, sending a man in motion. That's Tuan. As Kim gives it to Dalton in the backfield, he's trying the left side, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Josh LeBeau comes up along with Norman. Jeff Francis also cut off a lane that time. And it's going to be a loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. So Piedmont really, even though they're running the spread, has been primarily keeping the ball on the ground. They haven't been putting the ball much in the air as Spencer Kim goes across the sidelines and gets a call from the coach and heads back out to the huddle. The Timberwolves are ahead 7-0. The clock now 44 seconds to go first quarter. 2nd down and 11. William Meredith splits out to the right. He was a second-team All-Leaguer this year. There's a pass in the backfield to Dalton. Dalton's got a blocker, but a nice tackle that time by Zach Smith as he sheds the blocker and stops him for a loss. That should be the last play of the first quarter, but let's see here. They might get another one off. Another loss back down to the 23-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 14. Call it the 21-yard line. And with 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter, the Highlanders might get a playoff. They might not. They don't have to. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They come up to the line of scrimmage in that spread, and I think Kim is just going to let the clock expire. There it goes. The buzzer sounds, and that's the end of the first quarter. The score from Timberwolves Stadium in this North Coast Section playoff game, round 1. It's Fort Bragg 7 and Piedmont nothing. I'm Lindy Peters. We'll take a short timeout and return with a second quarter action in just a moment. Welcome back to this North Coast Section football playoff game. Second quarter now. 12 minutes here in the second quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. It's going to be third down and 14. The ball at the 21-yard line of Piedmont as they have it. As we start action now, Kim sends a man in motion out of the spread. Takes a snap. Rolling, looking, dropping back. Got some room now as he's going to run. And he is tackled right about the original line of scrimmage as Kim took off to run. Almost looked as though he had a moment of open field ahead of him, but Jeff Francis and Jacob Clark closed in fast for Fort Bragg and tackled him at about the original line of scrimmage, setting up fourth down and 10. The ball at the 26-yard line. Smith now will go back in punt return formation for the Timberwolves. Kim, the quarterback, also is their punter. I don't know, trailing 7-0 at this point on the field, if you would try anything fancy, a fake, but we'll see. I doubt it. Kim looks over the field, takes a snap, gets his kick away, kicks it towards the return man, Smith, who takes it at his 40, up to his 45, and to his 46. Good coverage by Dalton that time for Piedmont. But Smith is able to catch the ball on the fly, running upfield, and a short return. The Timberwolves have it first down at their own 46-yard line. 7-0, 11:09 to go, second quarter. Fort Bragg leading. Brandon Palmer caught a touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby. And the Timberwolves extra point was good. Carlos Portillo just getting it over the crossbar. 7-0. All right, they have it first and 10. This is Todd Wall split out to the right. LeBeau split out left. Clark and Smith behind Ashby at quarterback, who comes up to the line of scrimmage. And play action fake. He's going to throw again. It's got Todd Wall there, and it's incomplete. Just overthrew him that time as Wall was open. Coverage deep that time by Brian Lee. So the Timberwolves on first and 10 tried to put it in the air again, and this time just overthrown. Looked like Wall had a step on him, and especially after the ball was in the air, Wall broke about a step free of Lee that time, but just overthrown. The old post pattern that time. So 11:04 to go here, second quarter. The clock stops, second and 10 now as Ashby comes up to the line of scrimmage. Again, Clark and Smith behind him in the I formation. This time to pitch to Smith, right side. Got some blockers in front of him. Waits for the blockers, leaps one man, still on his feet across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. Before he's hit out of bounds that time and knocked down by Teddy Heafy. As Heafy makes the tackle, but he still picked up about 7 yards. Call it third down and 3 now. The ball at the Piedmont 47, about the 47-yard line. 10:36 to go, the second quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. LeBeau splits out left. Again, a big third down play. See if the Timberwolves can move the chains. Ashby, then a flag. Stops this play, and when that flag comes in that early, that means it's against the offense, and there you have it. Smith that time, anticipating the snap, probably moved just a little bit before the ball was snapped, so a 5-yard illegal procedure call against the Timberwolves will move it back, setting up third down now at about 7. Ball back across midfield to the Timberwolves 48-yard line. 10:22 to go, second quarter. Lindy Peters here on the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this exciting playoff game tonight. Third down and about 8. Wall splits out here to the right. Palmer splits out left. Two backs split behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby fakes to Smith, rolling to his left. Got some time. Now he's in trouble, and he's going to get sacked right at the original line of scrimmage, setting up fourth down as his receivers were covered. Palmer was breaking over the middle. Monson was running an outside route, but Ashby was unable to get that pass off. And Ashby gets up and looks like he's talking to the official about something and trots off the field. So that'll set up 4th and 10 as a penalty helps stop that drive for the Timberwolves. don't want to make mistakes in the playoffs, although they still lead 7-0. They're going to have to punt it away, and Piedmont should get decent field position here. As Harrion is now in punt formation, and there's a flag by the linesman here. If it's a 5-yard penalty, offsides or something like that, it's not going to give the Timberwolves a first down. If it's
encroachment,
and it is encroachment against the defense. It's only a 5-yard penalty, but it's still going to be fourth down. Brian Lee out here covering the man downfield, and now the Timberwolves send their offense back out there. They're going to go for it. The clock runs. They've only got a 30-some seconds and less to get this play off. The officials start the clock. Ball at the Piedmont 49-yard line. They're going to go for it. 4th and 5. Ashby brings them up to the line of scrimmage quickly. And Piedmont jumps off sides. That should give a Timberwolf first down. You can hear almost sort of a derisive cheer from the crowd here. I think everybody saw that. I don't think there's too much discussion here. Now the officials running across to the head coach, it looks like, of Piedmont for some reason. Or maybe he's looking, I see he's looking where the ball is to see if this 5 yards is in fact going to be a first down. But it is encroachment, offsides against Piedmont. It is a first down. So the official looked across the field to the chain gang. I thought he was going to talk maybe to one of the Piedmont coaches there, the way he was walking slowly over there, but he was basically just seeing where the chain was and seeing, in fact, if this penalty would give the Timberwolves a first down. So how about that? A couple of penalties and they get a first down. Ashby, play action, fake, rolling to his right, passes, got a man, Palmer open, he makes a catch, tiptoes up and goes out of bounds inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. So Brandon Palmer makes his second big catch of this game, setting the Timberwolves up with a first down at the 23-yard line. 8:55 to go first quarter, or first half that is. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. The Timberwolves scored in the first quarter on a Brandon Palmer touchdown catch from Tyler Ashby, and they get a first down now at about the 23-yard line of Piedmont. Zach Smith alone's back now behind Ashby at quarterback here. Ashby pitches to Smith left side. Smith is stopped, and beautiful play by Austin's son. He got through 2 blockers and tackled Smith. You don't see that happen too often. Clark, the leading blocker out there, and it looked like one of the guards, I'm not sure if it was Harrion or one of the guards out there, but boy, a nice play by Son as he able to, like I said, get through 2 blockers to make that tackle. So it'll be second down, only a gain of 1, second down and 9. Ball about the 23-yard line of Piedmont. Timberwolves come up to the line of scrimmage. Ashby takes the ball, pitches it back to Smith, trying the right side this time, trying to get outside, gets by one man, and then is tackled for a loss. Again, this field is not very conducive to trying to cut when you're running a sweep, especially the way Zach Smith runs the football. He'll spread the defense out and then suddenly cut into a lane, but on this slick football field, that's not going to be easy to do tonight. And again, it looked like he started to plant and it just unable to get his cleats into the ground, and credit the defense for stringing him out nicely by Piedmont. So it's going to set up 3rd down and 12 for the Timberwolves now, with Palmer split out left, Waugh split out here to the right. Multiple set defense, only 1 down lineman this time. Ashby back to pass. His pass is thrown and incomplete. Intended for Reed Monson that time. Ashby was hit right after he threw. The ball now with a 4th down at the 27-yard line of Piedmont. And Fort Bragg will probably go for it here. 7:25 to go second quarter. They lead it 7-0. Their defense has played pretty well thus far tonight, so they're going to go for it again here on 4th down. Now, their first touchdown drive was helped with a 4th down conversion to a first down. Let's see if they can get one here. Palmer splits out left, Waugh splits out right. Ashby with his backs in the I formation behind him. 4 down linemen for Piedmont this time. The pitch is to a reverse, and a penalty flag goes flying as Waugh on the reverse goes across the left side. He's going to be short of the first down to about the 27-yard line. But I think that no matter what happened that time, the flag was going to be against Fort Bragg the way it was thrown in what looked like a blocking scheme on the reverse. Well, let's see. So no matter what, I believe, and if the play stands, it's Piedmont's ball. And there it is, holding the call against the Timberwolves.
First down.
So that penalty flag against the Timberwolves will be refused. And that means Piedmont gets the ball on down. So Fort Bragg went for it on 4th down. And thankfully they kept the play. So though it wasn't a punt, the play stands and Piedmont will have it 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. That's how far the Timberwolves gone on that play. Now they have a more traditional formation that time and a new quarterback, and they give it to a running back that time, and he gets little or nothing. Dalton, I think it was, who carried the football, but they abandoned the spread offense and ran something a little different there. Andy Slaybaugh came in at quarterback instead of Spencer Kim, and Slaybaugh remains at quarterback now. No gain that time. Dondeville helped make the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The ball still at the 18-yard line. Piedmont with the ball. Another carry this time. Dalton, the ball carrier, left side. Nice tackle that time by Francis.
Kyle Dalton, the ball carrier.
As they picked up maybe about 3 yards. It's going to set up about 3rd down and 6, it looks like. Or make it 3rd down and 7. 6:24 to go here in the 2nd quarter. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves leading 7-0. I'm Lindy Peters, rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM. All right, here come the Highlanders now. Pitch left side, man trying to go, but Francis is there. And Monson helped break up that play along with Harrion. And boy, another loss for the Highlanders and another 4th down long situation. And Fort Bragg should get the football back in fairly decent field position this time, as Piedmont will have to punt from about their own 20-yard line. Todd Waugh is back along with Zach Smith in punt formation. So it's going to be 4th down and about 7 for Piedmont. Once again, Kim back there in punt formation for the Highlanders. He gets the snap, gets his punt away. This time Todd Waugh lets it bounce right between him. And a Piedmont bounce down to about the 26-yard line. A penalty flag is back here. And if it's against the Timberwolves and it happened before the ball turned over, well, I won't get ahead of myself. There is a penalty flag on the field. It appears Fort Bragg will have it at about the 26-yard line. But there is a penalty flag way back here at the Piedmont 30-yard line. And I'm not sure who the officials, they're looking to talk to somebody here. Zach Smith is going way back as if he thinks this is going to go against the Timberwolves, and it's
personal foul, number 32, striking a defensive player. By rule, that penalty is assessed from the point that Fort Bragg possesses the ball. Be half the distance of the goal. 1st down, Fort Bragg.
Well, there's a call you don't rarely see, because the football field is like a battlefield. At least that's how it was when I was coached. You are not a defenseless player on a football field. You are game to get hit, and you should get hit. So, I don't know, I guess Jacob Clark hit somebody that was, quote, defenseless, unquote, on a football field, whatever that means. But it does take the ball back to about the 13-yard line, and the Timberwolves will have it 1st and 10 there. Half the distance to the goal was the flag. Ashby fakes, keeps it right side, pitches it back to Smith. Smith breaks the tackle up across the 15 down to about the 18-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds that time by Kevin Garrett.
Zach Smith, the ball carrier.
Picked up about 5. 2nd down and 5. Nice move by Ashby that time. It was a dangerous pitch, as Piedmont has done a good job spreading out this Fort Bragg offense when they try and get to the outside, and the Timberwolves have been very successful, especially with Zach Smith getting to the outside on these runs. But Piedmont's done a pretty good job tonight. 5:20 to go, 2nd quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. They got the football now. 2nd down and 5 at their own 19. Ashby gives to Smith, left side. Smith trying to get outside, and boy, again, you heard the crowd. Nice tackle that time as he got to the 1st down marker. But Meredith caught him from behind just as it looked like he was going to get to the open field. But it is a 1st down for the Timberwolves out to the 25-yard line. Clock running now, 5:12 to go, 1st quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0.
on the 25-yard line.
And this field really took the rain pretty well tonight. It rained very hard earlier today, yesterday as well, but so far tonight the weather's been pretty nice and the field is in fairly decent shape. A penalty flag goes down and Timberwolves apparently took too much time between plays, I guess. We'll hear the call.
12 men in the huddle, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the down, still first down.
12 men in the huddle, that's another call that isn't called too often, but it is in fact something you can't do. You can't. If a man runs out to the huddle, then somebody's got to run out of the huddle. So it'll be 1st and 15, 5 yards back. Ball at about the 20-yard line of the Timberwolves. They have it leading 7-0, 1st and 15 now. Man comes in motion. Ashby keeps it right side, and defensively it's closed off nicely as Garrett is in there.
Tackle made by number 37. Kevin Garrett.
Ashby picking up about 2 or 3 yards. About 2nd down and about 11 now. 4:37 to go here in the half. Fort Bragg with a 7-0 lead. Lindy Peters rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM. It's the North Coast Section playoff game, round 1. Timberwolves scored on a Tyler Ashby touchdown pass to Brandon Palmer. I don't have official stats, but it was about a 37-yarder. So 2nd down, call it 12 for the Timberwolves. Ashby fakes one way, gives on a crossbuck play. That's Smith trying to get some yardage, and he's going to be stopped. Never did go to the ground.
Tackle made by number 57, Teddy.
They're getting a little chippy out there. Teddy Heafy that time after that play. So Smith with not much. It's going to set up 3rd down and about 10 now for the Timberwolves. The ball back to the original line of scrimmage at about the 26-yard line. 3:37 to go, first quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. They received the opening kickoff, so if you're looking ahead here to halftime, Piedmont will get the kickoff to begin the second half. We're rebroadcasting this game on your sports leader, the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters. 3rd and 10 for the Timberwolves. Ashby at quarterback. Pitches back to Smith, left side. And he's got some yardage. He's got across the 30 to the 40. Here he goes to the 45. One man to beat it. He's knocked out of bounds. All the way down across midfield and into Piedmont territory before Austin Sun, the last man, knocked him out of bounds. That time Smith able to cut upfield. Actually, I guess he went out of bounds up at the 45-yard line or 46-yard line of Piedmont. So he stepped out of bounds at about the 46. It looked like he got more yardage that time, but the official right on it on the side judge. All right, first down, Timberwolves, 3:05 to go, second quarter. They lead at 7-0, first down. Ashby gives to Clark, first guy, and he's up close to the 40-yard line, picking up about 5 yards that time, right up the middle. Jacob Clark a little slow getting up. Back to the huddle. Stephen Tully, as I mentioned, one of the down linemen on this Highlander defense has done a fine job here tonight. Teddy Heafy and William Meredith too. So it's 2nd down now and 5 for the Timberwolves. The ball at the Piedmont 41-yard line. As Ashby comes up to the line of scrimmage, backs are in the I formation and give it to Smith. And he breaks one tackle. He's got a blocker in front of him and is tackled that time by William Meredith.
Tackle made by number 38, William Meredith.
One of the Timberwolves, it looks like LeBeau, a little slow getting up on the far side. That's going to be close to a Timberwolf first down. But it's going to be short about a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and about a yard. 2:04 to go now here in the half. Fort Bragg with a 7-0 lead. The ball at the Piedmont 36-yard line. The Timberwolves have to get it to about the 35 to get a first down. This is one of those plays where sometimes they'll just take the snap and go right up the middle. All right, here we go. 3rd and short for the Timberwolves. Ashby does go right up the middle on the keeper, and he's got the first down before he's bent backwards. But the side judge here on the near sideline has got him marked at the 35. That'll be enough for a Timberwolf first down. 1:38 to go in the half. All
right, here we go now. It's 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves as Ashby pitches it back to Smith. Left side, Smith to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, and rustled out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Zach Smith, another fine run, and another Timberwolves first down. 1:13 to go here now. In this first half, Fort Bragg going to try and get another score on the board if they can. 7-0. You're listening to a rebroadcast of this game on the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters. Thanks for joining us here. Exciting football playoff action from Timberwolves Stadium. Piedmont and Fort Bragg. First down now. The ball just inside the 20 at the 19. Palmer splits out right. Wall splits out left. Two backs split. Clark and Smith behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby back to pass. Straight back. Looking to his right. He's sacked. No, he doesn't go down. Now he does. And double coverage in the middle of the field, the post pattern run that time, and a timeout called by the Timberwolves. One of the dangers of passing the football is just that, a sack. That's a loss of 10 yards for the Timberwolves. They went from the 20 all the way back to the Piedmont 31-yard line, setting up 2nd down and 20. 1:03 to go here in this first half. So the Timberwolves will take a timeout. We'll keep it right here during this timeout. Timberwolves received the opening kickoff. They lost it on downs. Piedmont took over. Fort Bragg got it back. And the next drive, the Timberwolves, which started at their own 5-yard line, was advanced on a 4th down and short call by Coach Roy Perkins. He went for it on 4th down and short near midfield, actually on his own side of the 50-yard line. And the Timberwolves got the first down. Later in that drive, they scored this game's only touchdown. So that was helped along by a coaching decision, a gamble by Coach Perkins that paid off, and Fort Bragg now has its 2nd down and 20. As we come back to action, two men split out here to the right, Palmer and Waugh. Two backs behind Ashby. Ashby rolling to his right. Got some pressure. He throws, and it's intercepted. And man gets up to, and Clark is called hitting a man out of bounds. Piedmont has hit us out of bounds 3 times and it's not been called. This time Clark trying to make the hit, tried to stop, but there's going to be 15 yards tacked onto this with 52 seconds to go here. Ashby was intercepted, returned to the 20, tack another 15 on for a late hit. They're going to have it at the 35-yard line.
Illegal helmet contact, leading with the helmet, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Actually, what Clark did is he was sliding on the angle to knock the guy out of bounds, and his helmet was leading, but he was trying to stop. That's the thing. He was trying to stop. If you saw it, it was right here on the near sideline. That wasn't really a dirty play. He clearly was trying to prevent that penalty, which is why I thought maybe they wouldn't call it, but they did. So Piedmont has it now. First down, 52 seconds to go in the half. And once again, then Austin Sun is back at quarterback, and once again, here's that spread offense. Sun with a long count, back to pass, throws to his right, pass is caught, Dalton makes the catch, he's tackled immediately at the 40-yard line, 44 seconds, 43 seconds to go in this first half. Piedmont now will call a timeout. Fort Bragg with a 7-0 lead, 40 seconds to go here in this first half. So we'll keep it right here once again. And remind you folks that you're listening to the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters. This is a rebroadcast of the North Coast Section CIF first round playoff game from Timberwolves Stadium. If you tuned in late, Fort Bragg scored in the first quarter. And that's all the scoring we've had. It's 7-0. Brandon Palmer caught a touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby. The Fort Bragg defense has played very well, as they have all year long. You can hear that with this playoff set of officials, you've got a mic'd official out there, and they're going to give more time to Piedmont now on the clock after that last timeout. They put 44 seconds up on the clock, and they're going to have it as we come back to action. 2nd down and short. 2nd and about 3. Kim at quarterback in the spread formation. 2 men left, 2 men right. Takes the snap. Back to pass. Rolling to his right. Getting pressure. Gets away from one man. Running now. He's got a first down as he gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. And the clock stops. I think he was knocked out of bounds just across the first down marker. 34 seconds to go, and Piedmont will call another timeout here. So they're trying to use the clock here as we wind ourselves down here before half. I mentioned that Piedmont will get the kickoff to begin the second half. So they're probably seeing if they can get another score in here before halftime. Now, I hadn't watched their warm-ups too much, but I did watch their place kicker, and I believe it was Kim. He was kicking the ball pretty well. So, yeah, I'd still think they'd have to get down to about the 15-yard line realistically for a high school field goal, especially on this field. So chances are they're going to be going for the end zone here. 34 seconds to go. A new set of downs. First down. The ball at their own 46-yard line. Piedmont, who abandoned their spread their last offensive series, are back at it again. They got three men split way out here to the left. Kim in the shotgun. One man right, one man in the backfield. That's Dalton behind Kim. 1st and 10 for Piedmont. Closing seconds of this first half. Piedmont back to pass. That's Kim. And he is hit and dropped. Sacked in the backfield. Harrion and Reed Monson was the first guy to hit him. Down at the 40-yard line, about a 5-yard loss. 28 seconds left, and Piedmont calls a timeout. And that is their final timeout of the half. Fort Bragg here with a 7-0 lead. We might as well keep it right here on this final timeout of the half. The clock, with, of course, incomplete passes, the clock stops. But on a sack, when you're passing the football, that clock normally will tick down. So Piedmont, if they hadn't called a timeout, the clock would have probably expired before they got another playoff. So they had to use that last timeout. And really, unless there's an incomplete pass on this play, chances are this could be the last play of the first half. But you never know. We have 28 seconds left, and the half, of course, can't end on a defensive penalty. So the defense heads out there now. 2nd down, 15 for Piedmont. Here they come in the spread formation as we're back to action now. 28.5 seconds to be exact left in the half. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. 2 men split left, 2 men split right. Kim in the shotgun, in the spread formation. Sends a man in motion out here, strong left now. And he's back to pass, throwing back to his right, setting up a screen with some good blocking there. Norman sheds a block, helps to slow him down, and he's finally finished off and tackled. The clock's going to run down unless they can set up real fast. It should be the last play. 18, 17, 16 seconds. Piedmont trying to set up fast. Defensively, Fort Bragg trying to set up. It's 3rd down and about 4. 8, 7, 6. Kim back in the shotgun. They're in formation. They get the play off. He takes the snap. He's back to pass. He's got some time. He rolls. He throws. It's incomplete. And that's the end of the first half. So the Highlanders, trying to get a little excitement going here, are unable to get on the scoreboard before halftime, and that's the end of the first half. So you're listening to a rebroadcast of this game on the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters. Thanks for joining us here at halftime. The score, Fort Bragg 7, Piedmont 0. We're going to take a halftime break and come back with the exciting second half of this North Coast Section playoff football game in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to the second half of this North Coast Section playoff football game between the Fort Bragg Timberwolves and the Piedmont Highlanders. Broadcasting for the Skunk FM, I'm Lindy Peters. We're back here under the lights at Timberwolves Stadium. The Timberwolves scored in the first quarter on a 37-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby to Brandon Palmer. Palmer caught it at about the 20-yard line and ran it the rest of the way in. And that's been the only scoring after Carlos Portillo kicked the extra point. The Timberwolves with a 7-0 lead here. They did win the opening toss. They did elect to receive, so we're getting set for the kickoff here as the Timberwolves will be kicking it off to the Piedmont Highlanders to begin this second half. Now, if you tuned in late, Piedmont finished the year 5-5. They lost their last 3 games. But as I said, this is the playoffs. They're playing very well tonight. They're able to stop the Timberwolves ground game to a certain extent. Fort Bragg has moved the football, but not as well as they have against some teams this year, but this is the playoffs. On the other hand, the Timberwolves defense, which hasn't seen a whole lot of the spread offense, has performed very well. So well that at one point Piedmont abandoned the spread offense in that first half. And on one offensive series, they brought in a whole different quarterback and ran a completely different, more like a pro set offense. But they didn't get much. Their last series, right before the half, actually was one of their best series. They were able to move the football, but time ran out on them there. So here we go as Piedmont gets ready to receive. Chase Betta is back there to receive it for the Highlanders on one side. And Michael Tam back there with him as Eric Harrion gets ready to kick it off. The Timberwolves will be wearing once again their home purple with the white numerals and gray pants. Piedmont also purple and white, wearing their traveling white uniforms with a purple trim and purple helmets. Piedmont will be moving left to right across your radio dial, and there's the kick by Harrion. It's a ground ball kick, picking up by Tam at the 15, up to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, and it's about where he goes down at the 35-yard line. So Fort Bragg will send their 3-5 defense out on the field.
Close to the 35-yard line.
Piedmont will send their offense back out. Spencer Kim, their quarterback and junior, 6'2", 175 pounds, running that spread offense. So here we go. 2 men split out right, 2 men split out left as Kim back of the shotgun running the spread. And the snap is on the ground, still on the ground, and he falls down on it as the first snap bounces all the way back to about the 24-yard line. Kim tried to pick it up at first and then realized it better off just falling on the football. Again, it rained earlier today. The field is in pretty good shape, but it is a little slick out there, and the referee wiping off the football with a towel between each play for the offensive teams. No rain tonight, but the field is wet, and it's kind of chilly. As the game wears on, it gets a little colder and colder. So they lost about 12 yards. It's going to be second down at about 22 now for the Highlanders. Man in motion. Now strong right, 3 men split to the right, 1 man left here out of the spread. And the shotgun is Kim. He takes a snap and gives to Tam, who cuts upfield and gets some pretty good yardage before he's tackled by Metlin. Gets up close to the original line of scrimmage, so he picked up about 10 yards that time. 3rd down and 12 now. And they're on that spot of the field where it is a little bit slick.
It'll be 3rd and 13 for the Highlanders.
At about their own 33-yard line. Just underway second quarter, 10:39 to go. Fort Bragg leading 7-0 in this North Coast Section playoff game at Timberwolves Stadium. Lindy Peters as we rebroadcast this for you on a Saturday. 2 men split out left, 2 men to the right. They need about 13 yards here. Kim in the shotgun out of the spread. Takes a snap, looks to his left, throws. The pass is incomplete. Defended nicely by Tyvon, that time intended for Dalton, incomplete. And it'll set up now 4th down, and the Highlanders will have to punt.
On the 33 for the Highlanders.
Smith and Waugh deep to receive for the Timberwolves. 4th down and about 12. Kim in punt formation. And he gets the kick away. Waugh dives for it. I don't think he touched it, though. As it goes dead at about the 18-yard line. Fort Bragg will have it 1st and 10. Todd Waugh came up close to the football, and then he dove as if he was going to catch it, and then looked as though he tried to alligator his arms back so he wouldn't touch it, because if he did, it would have been a live football that time, and Piedmont had it covered pretty well. So it turned out okay. He did not touch the football. The Timberwolves do start deep in their own territory, their own 18-yard line, but they have it 1st and 10. Now, Piedmont, defensively, has been pretty stout up front. They've been putting 8 men in the box for the most part. 4 down linemen running a 4-3, but the safeties are the only 2 men back, really, if you were able to see it here, challenging the Timberwolves to throw the football because they're stopping the run pretty well. Here's their first play from scrimmage. Ashby has it, pitches it back to Clark. Clark steps in front of 1 man, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and gets up close to a 1st down. Nice pitch again by Ashby that time on the veer option. He kept the football, and just as he was about to be tackled, he pitched it back, and this time it was Clark behind him, who got a lot of that yardage on his own. First down for the Timberwolves out to the 30-yard line. Their first series here, leading 7-0, just underway here in the second half with 9:53 to go, third quarter. 7-0, Fort Bragg with the lead as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Vaughn splits out left. LeBeau slotted inside of him. The backs are split. Clark and Smith behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby gives to Smith. Smith gets into the open field, breaks one tackle, breaks another, gets across the 40 to the 45, up to the 46-yard line. About a 15-yard gain by Smith that time. First down, Timberwolves. Down 46-yard line. Smith has been close to breaking that long run that has become his trademark this year. Seems like every game he gets a couple of them, or at least one, but on this field, as I've mentioned, it's a little difficult for his style of running to make those quick cuts because it is still a little slick out there, though not really muddy. But it is a first down for the Timberwolves, the ball at their own 46-yard line now. Clark and Smith in the I formation behind Ashby at quarterback. Takes the snap, fakes a pitch, keeps it himself, spins around, goes up the middle, gets some decent yardage up across midfield down to about the 47-yard line.
Tackle made by number 33.
In that play, the idea is to fake the pitch to Smith and try and get the defense to commit that way, and then Ashby spins around and runs the other way. I called it kind of a quarterback counter, if you will, as he takes one step where he's pitching it, spins around and runs back. That play sometimes this year has not worked that well, but so far tonight, a couple of times it's been run for some decent yardage. Picked up about 4 that time. Second down and 4. The ball at Piedmont's 47. Ashby's going to keep it again over the right side. Dives forward. Looks like he's got a first down. Or close to it across the far sideline. The referee marking the ball. It looks like a first down. About the 43-yard line of Piedmont. We'll call it the 44. So another first down for the Timberwolves. Moving the football well here in the third quarter. We're just underway in this second half with Fort Bragg leading 7-0. This is their first offensive series, and they've moved the ball starting at their own 18. Right now they're at the Piedmont 44-yard line. First and 10. This time Clark in the slot on the right side. Smith the lone back. The give is to Smith right up the middle, and he's not going to get more than a couple. Second down and about 8.
Zach Smith, the ball carrier.
Ball to about the 42-yard line. Maybe the 41.
It'll be second and 8 for the Timberwolves.
Fort Bragg with a 7-0 lead. Trying to add to it here in the second half. As they come up to the line of scrimmage, second down and 8. The ball at the Piedmont 41-yard line. Clark and Smith in the backfield, split behind Ashby at quarterback. 2 men split out here left. Ashby's going to keep it. Fakes the snap, or fakes the pitch, and then we got a penalty flag. 2 of them flying in at the end of that play, and that's probably going to go against Fort Bragg. And they've had a little trouble overcoming long penalties in this game. That's stopped a couple of drives. It might move them back a little bit on this one. They are talking to Piedmont. It looks like it's going to be some sort of blocking infraction on that play. We'll get it from the referee as his mic is on.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay the down. Second down.
So it's still going to be second down. It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so it brings it just across midfield back to the Timberwolves side of the mid-stripe there. It'll be at the Timberwolves 49-yard line. And it'll be second down at about 18.
It'll be second and 18 for the Timberwolves on their own 49-yard line.
So here we go, second down and 18. LeBeau splits out to the right. Vaughn, that is, split out left. Ashby with the lone back. Smith, there's the pitch to Smith. Smith trying to get outside to the right. Gets by one man, gets across midfield to about the 45-yard line and runs right over somebody as he goes out of bounds. I think he went out of bounds before that contact there.
45-yard line.
Ball's marked at the 45-yard line of Piedmont, so it's going to be third down about 12 now.
12 for the Timberwolves.
So the Timberwolves now with third and long, run up to the huddle here, trying to overcome a penalty. It was called on this drive. 6:59 to go, third quarter. They lead it 7-0. Football now at the 45-yard line of Piedmont, third down and 12. Ashby up to the line of scrimmage. Fakes, back to pass, looking, got some time, throws, caught!
to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Ty Vaughn! The Timberwolves score as Ashby throws his second touchdown pass, a 45-yarder, and the Timberwolves make it 13-0 here. 6:48 to go in the third quarter. Vaughn, who hasn't been featured much in the offense this year, hasn't had his number called a lot, caught the ball on the run, eluded one tackler, and then right at the goal line was upended and dove in across the goal line for the touchdown. Nice play by Ty Vaughn. Portillo now for the extra point as the Timberwolves, there's a spot. Kick is up, and it's good with plenty of distance. So the score with 6:48 to go here in the third quarter. It's Fort Bragg 14 and Piedmont nothing. And the passing game comes to life tonight under the lights at Timberwolves Stadium. Took me a moment to realize who caught that football, because Vaughn, like I said, who hasn't been featured a lot this year, showed some good speed running after the catch. Both of the Timberwolves touchdown passes, there was a nice run after the catch yardage, first from Brandon Palmer and then Ty Vaughn, who walks with a little more confidence out there on the kickoff team now. So the Timberwolves with a 82-yard drive that time, culminating on a 45-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby to Ty Vaughn. 14-0 Fort Bragg. Here's a kickoff as Harrion kicks it off. It's a low liner. Tam lets it bounce. He picks it up at his 15 to the 20 to the 25 to the 30, and he is tackled by Josh LeBeau at the 33-yard line.
And takes the kickoff to the 35-yard line.
LeBeau with a hit that you could hear up here in the stands. I think the hardest hits in football often do occur on special teams when the return man has a lot of speed going, and so does the tackler sometimes, and LeBeau with a good stick. You can hear it up here. 1st and 10 for Piedmont now, trailing 14-0. They run out of that pro set now as Kim has two backs behind him, puts a man in motion, Dalton. Meredith is a good receiver out here, split to the right. Kim has it, fakes, gives, and stopped right up at the line of scrimmage as LeBeau comes in there again. And Francis there to finish him off, along with Jacob Clark, who gets up from the bottom of that pile. Maybe a yard, if that, second down, and still about 10 for Piedmont. So Fort Bragg's defense with a 0 so far up on the board. Third quarter, 6:17 to go. And holding this spread offense for Piedmont pretty well so far. Two men split out left, two men split out right for the Highlanders. Out of the pro set in the shotgun. That's Tam at quarterback now, wearing number 7. No, I'm sorry, Spencer Kim wearing number 8. He drops back to pass. He's in trouble. He's trying to get out to the left side. He runs around and is tackled right at about the original line of scrimmage. Francis came in there, and Kim gets up a little slow, gimps over to the sideline. No gain. Third down and 10. Kim at quarterback that time, I thought was going to get sacked a lot deeper than where he eventually ended up. Defense a little confused there now. Vaughn comes out. Monsa goes back in. Kim is over on the sideline now. Their quarterback is out for this play, and Andy Slaybaugh comes into quarterback at 3rd and 10. Slaybaugh now back at quarterback out of the spread for the Highlanders. 3rd and 10. Slaybaugh back to pass, looking to his right. Got a man open for the screen pass. He makes a catch, gets by one tackler, but is stopped short of the first down at about the 40-yard line. As Harrion came in to make the stop, or that was Dondeville, I'm sorry, who made the stop. Short of the first down, but they might go for it here. I don't know. They trail 14-0. It's at their own 41-yard line. And the Highlanders, who watch their starting quarterback, Spencer Kim, wander off to the sideline after that last play. With 4th and 3, they're going to go for it. And Andy Slaybaugh in at quarterback. The Timberwolves have to make sure they don't get drawn off sides here. They're not. They're going to go for it. There's the give, and the man is stopped by on 4th and 3. I don't think he got it.
Michael Tam, the ball carrier.
Tam, the ball carrier. And Clark and Monson, and it is first down Timberwolves. As a defense makes the stop. Dondeville also helped break that play up, and the Timberwolves hold, and they've got it across midfield, leading 14-0 at the Piedmont 43-yard line. So that time it wasn't a good gamble for the Highlanders. You never know, but with 4:18 to go, third quarter, Fort Bragg leading 14-0. They get the football. Right about in the same spot they scored from not too long ago. Ashby at quarterback gives to Smith. Smith up through the line of scrimmage and got some positive yardage up to about the 39-yard line before he stopped.
Tackled by most
Picked up close to 5.
At about the 37-yard line.
And with the clock ticking down now, Coach Roy Perkins told us before the game that he relies on his defense. He doesn't really have to pull out his bag of tricks on offense if his defense is playing well. And so at this point, leading 14-0, he wants to run as much time off the clock as he can, keep the football, and try and make this a possession game right now, leading by 2 touchdowns. All right, here's the snap. Give to Smith, right side. Smith gets up close to the first down. It's going to set up 3rd and short, I think, up to about the 35-yard line, maybe across the 35 down to the 34. They have to get to about the 32 or 33-yard line for a first down. So this is going to set up down 3rd down and short. 3:23, 3:22, clock counting down here in the third quarter. I'm Liddy Peters on the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this North Coast Section playoff game here. First round, Fort Bragg leading 14-0. They'll go for it. Well, they're not going for it. It's 3rd down. Here's Ashby, give to Smith, left side, and he gets up, bounces off one man, still on his feet, tries to drag across his blocker, Jacob Clark, before he's tackled that time. But not before a nice gain. Gavin Moscone made the tackle, but the Timberwolves get a first down to the 24-yard line. It was 3rd down and short that time, and good pickup from Smith. So they're down to the 24-yard line and keeping the ball on the ground and keeping the clock running. Under 3 minutes to go, third quarter.
Your last chance to get into 50-50 route will help support the junior class.
Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Wall splits out right. LeBou splits out left. Clark and Smith in the backfield behind Tyler Ashby at quarterback. Ashby keeps the ball himself, sort of a quarterback draw, and not much that time, if any.
Tyler Ashby, the ball carrier.
Tackled by Gavin Moscone.
By most of the interior defensive line for the Piedmont.
And the Timberwolves leading 14-0. Happy to just run some plays here, as I said.
2nd and 8 for the Timberwolves on the 23-yard line.
Pretty much command of this game right now. It could turn. It's only 14-0, but Fort Bragg definitely has a momentum. All right, 2nd down and 8. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby at quarterback, up to the line of scrimmage. A pitch to Smith, right side. Guard pulling. Smith cuts inside of him. Cuts back, across the left side. Dives forward and got close to a first down up to about the 16-yard line.
Tackle made by number...
Boy, Smith really follows his blockers well.
Tackle made by number...
Sometimes that's hard to coach a running back, but he'll get right on the hip of one of his blockers, almost to the point of grabbing his jersey and following him. And when he's much smaller usually than the offensive lineman or pulling guard that's blocking for him, it's very difficult for the defense sometimes to know which side of the blocker to go on. And Smith reads the block so well that he's really tough to contain. But he was short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and about long 3. Ashby gives to Smith again, left side. He's got some room. Can he cut outside? Breaks the tackle down to the 10 and stopped at the 10-yard line. But that should be enough for another first down for the Timberwolves. And again, Smith was hit not once but twice before he went down, breaking 2 tackles and getting a first down. So Fort Bragg now in the third quarter leading 14-0 with 1:14 to go here in this third quarter. Has it first down. The nose of the football is across the 10-yard line, making it 1st and goal for Fort Bragg. Lindy Peters here from the Skunk FM rebroadcasting this game. 1st and goal for the Timberwolves. Ashby pitches back to Smith. Going to his right, cuts inside and is tackled at about the 7-yard line, I think. 7 or 8-yard line. Didn't get much. Nice tackle that time by William Meredith, who was able to get underneath the blockers and make the stop.
Maybe got a yard that time. Second down and goal. Importantly, only seconds left now in this third quarter. At about 30 seconds to go. They'll have time for one more play here in the third quarter. Moving in the north, towards the north goal line on this drive. Up to the line comes Ashby. Wall splits way out left. 3 men split out right. Fakes the pitch. Turns around. Runs it right up the middle. Across the 5. Dives down to about the 3-yard line. It's going to be short of the goal line. But it's going to set up a third and goal. And that should end this third quarter. As Ashby runs to the sideline, it almost looks as though he's...
Tackled by number 38.
Yeah, he's not even going to worry about running a play off here. He's just going to run to the sideline and get set for this fourth quarter. So there you have it, folks. That's the end of the third quarter. The score is Fort Bragg 14, Piedmont nothing. I'm Lindy Peters on a rebroadcast of this North Coast Section football playoff game. We'll be back with the exciting fourth quarter and conclusion of this game right after this break. Welcome back to Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters with the Skunk FM and this North Coast Section football playoff game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0 as we begin the fourth quarter. The Timberwolves have it third down and goal. Third and goal at the 3-yard line. There's a give to Smith. A penalty flag. He's in the end zone, touchdown, but a penalty flag is down, and Ashby looks as though it's going to be against Fort Bragg. It's a false start. There you have it.
Was not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
So on third and goal, the Timberwolves were in the end zone that time, but this penalty is going to nullify a touchdown and make it third and goal from about the 8-yard line. Might change the play call here too. 11:56 to go here in this game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0.
The Skunks hits all the time.
So Fort Bragg will see what they could do. Third and goal now at the 8-yard line. They might put it in the air here. Palmer goes into the huddle. LeBou comes out. Ashby gets the instructions from Coach Perkins. Back in the huddle he goes and sends his team up to the line with Todd Wallace putting way out here to the right. Backs are Clark and Smith split behind Ashby at quarterback. Third and goal from the 8. Ashby, play action, fake, rolling to his left, stops, gets on his feet, throws, overthrows Smith. He had him open. That would have been a touchdown, but Smith that time had to throw it over his head. That's setting fourth and goal. We might see Carlos Portillo here. And
at the 7-yard line.
He is going to run out on the field. Their place kicker, Carlos Portillo, is going to try a field goal now. It should be spotted at about the 15-yard line. Now, he has kicked a couple of long extra points from this same spot on the field this year already. So this is going to be about a 25-yard field goal for Carlos Portillo now. There's the snap. The spot is down. The kick is up, and it has got the distance, but it's no good. I guess it didn't quite have the distance. So Portillo misses the field goal attempt. The Piedmont Highlanders will take over on the Timberwolves 20-yard line. Or I'm sorry, on their own 20-yard line. I wasn't quite sure how it worked on a missed field goal in high school, but if you're inside the 20 and you missed a field goal.
At MendocinoTV.com. MendocinoTV.com's got the. I gotta shoot this. We'll have the game on your.
All right, here we go.
Tomorrow.
First down and 10, 11:47 to go here. In the game, Piedmont has it at their own 20. Kim in the shotgun formation. In the pro set, 2 men split out right, 2 men split out left. Takes the snap, looking to his right, throws, his pass is caught, and tackle made, but not before he gets a first down, as Francis made the tackle.
Complete to number 6, Andy Slabaugh. That's good enough for
Slabaugh made the catch for the first down at the
33-yard line.
Ball out about the 32-yard line. First and 10, so Piedmont running that spread offense, able to connect on that pass. Kim once again comes up to the line of scrimmage. 14-0, Fort Bragg leading, 11:31 to go in the game. 2 men split out left, 2 men split out right out of the pro set. Kim takes the snap, back to pass, straight back, got some time. Now he has to dance a little bit to the right. Now he throws on the run and it's incomplete. Setting up second down and 10. Well, one thing we can expect, being behind 14-0, Piedmont's probably going to keep the ball in the air, and if they do, that'll of course keep this clock stopped on every incompletion, and will make the fourth quarter a little longer than if they were running the football. Second and 10 now. 2 men split out left. 2 men split out to the right for Piedmont. Now a man goes in motion to the right. as Spencer Kim out of the pro set in shotgun, takes the snap, gives. Running back is going to be stopped after maybe a yard or two by Harrion. Nice tackle that time. I'm surprised they ran the football, but they come right up now. No huddle offense, which you don't see often in high school. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7.
It'll be 3rd and 8.
Down to 11 minutes to go in the game now as Kim out of the pro set in the shotgun formation. Now he looks at his wristband to see what play he wants to run, calling out to his team. There's not really much difference if you don't run a playoff right away and when you're running the no huddle, but they take their time. He takes the snap. He's back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Now he rolls out to his right. He's going to run the football, and he is stopped right near the line of scrimmage. He didn't get much. It's setting up 4th down. Ball at the 35-yard line of Piedmont and trailing 14-0 with 10:26 to go in the game.
That'll bring up 4th and 6.
See if they elect to punt the football away or go for it here.
36-yard line.
Timberwolves have not sent anybody back deep as if to receive a punt yet, expecting that perhaps they will go for it here. Taking a little time out there in the huddle now as they get their proper lineup in for the Highlanders. And hard to say on this pro set whether they're punting or not, but Fort Bragg is willing to let them kick it away without a punt return. As a man deep in shotgun formation, and now the Timberwolves have called a timeout, and Roy Perkins not too happy. The coach
Fort Bragg, that's their first
takes off his headset in a manner that suggests he's not too happy. I think the Highlanders clearly were in punt formation there, but there was nobody deep to receive, and I think Coach Perkins thought, hey, you know, you want to get somebody back there in the punt. The Timberwolves will talk it over now as Coach Perkins heads out there and sets things up. 9:50 to go in this game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0. Tyler Ashby with a couple of touchdown passes, one to Brandon Palmer and one to Ty Vaughn, and that's been all the scoring in this game. It's 4th down and about 5. The ball at the 36-yard line as we come back to action. Slayball back there in deep to punt. Fort Bragg waiting to see if maybe they're going to try and draw him off sides. Nobody back to receive this kick. There's the punt. They punt it away, and there's nobody back there. It'll bounce and take a Piedmont bounce again down to about the 21-yard line. So the Timberwolves moving left to right across your radio dial. Get the football at their 21-yard line, 1st and 10, leading 14-0. 9:39 to go in the game. Would like nothing more than to keep the ball on the ground, get some first downs, and watch that clock tick down. This is a rebroadcast of this North Coast Section CIF playoff game, round 1, Piedmont and Fort Bragg. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, your sports leader for Mendocino County here at Timberwolf Stadium on a Friday night, rebroadcasting on a Saturday. Todd Ross splits out right, LeBou splits out left for the Timberwolves, Clark and Smith behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby gives it to Smith, first guy through, and the line pushes him forward for some positive yardage, about 4, I think. And it'll set up 2nd down.
Zach Smith, the ball carrier. Zach brings the ball across the 25-yard line.
2nd down at about 6 now.
They're going to mark
ball
it at the
27-yard line of Fort Bragg. Leading 14-0. The scoreboard now is behind Piedmont. You can see their players at times turn back to look at something. They're looking to see how much time is left in this game. Fort Bragg looking at the scoreboard as they move now the football. 2nd down and 6. Ashby pitches back to Smith, left side, trying to find some room, and is stopped after little or no gain, setting up 3rd down and about 4. We'll try and watch that clock for you listeners too. 8:48 to go in this game. Fort Bragg 14, Piedmont nothing. Timberwolves will huddle up now, 3rd and 4. They're in their own territory here at about the 28-yard line, so this really isn't 4-down territory at this point in the game. They'd like to get a first down here, not just to keep the ball on offense, but to keep the clock going. So here they go. Ashby at quarterback, brings him up to the line of scrimmage, gives to Smith, and he is up close to the first down. I think he got it up across the 33 to about the 34-yard line, and that is a Timberwolf first down.
I have the winning 50-50 ticket in my hand.
8:17 to go in the game now as the Clock stops momentarily to move the chains, and now the official winds his arm around to signal the starting of the clock one more time. And
they're all green tickets.
1st and 10 Timberwolves. The ball at their 34-yard line.
Last three numbers 6, 4, 9.
Smith alone back now. Clark slotted on the right side. 3 men out here to the right. Ashby looking to his left. He's got some room. He's going to run across the 40 to the 45 and out of bounds at about midfield. A first down for the Timberwolves.
Ty Ashby, the ball carrier.
They loaded the formation to the right side, and Ashby ran it to his left.
It'll be 1st and 10.
And the Timberwolves get a first down at about their own 48-yard line. 7:47 to go in this game. Fort Bragg 14, Piedmont nothing. Defense really has played well for Fort Bragg here tonight. Ashby bringing him up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Give to the second man through. That's Smith. Smith still on his feet, breaks a tackle and gets close to 10 yards.
Zach Smith, the ball carrier.
Tough run that time. That's the thing about Zach Smith. For a small running back, he not only has the speed to get outside and go all the way, but he can run tough yardage right up the middle, just like there. He got 10 yards and a first down for the Timberwolves at the Piedmont 41. Moving the chains and moving the clock. That's the goal now with a 14-0 lead for Fort Bragg. Good home crowd here tonight. There was potentially rain in the forecast. I think some people may have stayed away due to the weather, but the folks that are here are certainly happy right now. 1st and 10 Fort Bragg at the Piedmont 42. Ashby fakes to Clark, keeps it right up the middle, and gets some good yardage up to about the 35-yard line of Piedmont. Calling about a 7-yard gain, setting up 2nd down and 3. The Timberwolves doing exactly what they needed to, and they got the football here in this offensive series. They're getting positive yardage on every play, and they're not hurting themselves with penalties. Down now, under 7 minutes to go in the game. Vaughn, who's caught a touchdown pass, splits out to the right. LeBou splits out left for the Timberwolves. Ashby gives to Clark, or gives to Smith, that is, and he is stopped right near the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and about 4 down. While at the Piedmont 35-yard line. Lindy Peters on the rebroadcast of this game here on the Skunk FM. Hope you're enjoying it on a Saturday.
Last chance on the 50-50 ticket here. I'm going to say all the
We've had some great weather all year here in our football broadcasts, and tonight is no exception. It's a little chilly, but no rain so far in this game, and there's only 6:20 to go now. 14-0 Fort Bragg. 3rd down and 4. Ashby at the line of scrimmage. 2 men split out left. The backs, Clark and Smith, split behind him. The give is to Smith, and he's not going to get much. He's dropped backwards. Right at the line of scrimmage, setting up 4th down.
Tackle made by number 51,
Under 6 minutes to go in the game now as Moscone made the stop for Piedmont. Fort Bragg looking at the sidelines to see if they're going to keep the ball or punt it away. It looks like they're going to go for it. 4th down and 4. Their first drive that resulted in a touchdown, they went for it on 4th and short. This is a little longer now, but they're going to go for it to the Bears. They also got an offsides penalty on 4th down. They gave him a first down earlier in this game. Here we go. They're going for it. Ashby rolling to his right. Still on his feet. Throws. And kind of a push pass. Clark was open that time, and Ashby threw an incomplete pass, and Piedmont takes over on downs. Again, that was one of those passes by Ashby where he might have just aimed the football. It's just like when you're pitching in baseball. The minute you start aiming it, that's the minute you have control problems. And I think if Ashby sort of relaxed and just threw that football, he might have had a completion. But as it is, Piedmont takes over. 1st and 10 at their own 35. 5:27 to go in the game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0, and here come the Highlanders out of the pro set. They've already showed that they can run a no-huddle offense, and they're doing it right now as they don't huddle up, and Spencer Kim, the quarterback, barks out the play to the teammates. 3 men split out right, 1 man splits out left out of the pro set. Kim rolling to his right, throws, and the pass is caught. Nice catch. I think he caught it. Yes, he did. That's a first down up at the 48-yard line.
The Highlanders pass.
Hard to tell. It was one of those catches where the receiver dove back towards the quarterback and kept that ball off the ground. First down, and here they come. The Highlanders again with no huddle at their own 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Kim in the shotgun out of the pro set. 1 man behind him in the backfield. The rest, 2 men split out left, 2 men split out right. Out of the shotgun. There's the snap. Looking to his left. Throws out this way. Pass is caught. And the man is still on his feet and then hit hard as he tried to get out of bounds. Metlin and Monson came up to finish it off. That was Chase Betta, who caught the pass, a little swing pass that time that picked up about 7 yards. Second down and 3, the ball to the Timberwolves 45-yard line. 4:55 to go in the game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0. Piedmont trying to make something happen now out of this pro set. 2 men split out left. Now one of them goes in motion to the right. Kim in the shotgun at midfield. Takes the snap, rolling to his right. Back to pass, throws, and it's overthrown out of bounds. Incomplete. And the clock stops with 4:35 to go in the game. Fort Bragg 14-0. Piedmont, even though they could huddle up here with the clock stop, running a no-huddle offense, which means your defense has to really pay attention. There's no time to relax. Go back on the heels. 3rd and 3 now for Piedmont at the Fort Bragg 45-yard line. Spencer Kim out of the shotgun and the pro set. Now they change formations. One man comes in motion, gets from the backfield. Dalton comes in motion. Kim back to pass, and he is almost sacked and then throws it incomplete. Clark and Dondeville with a chance for an interception, or for a sack that time, and Kim threw the pass, and it was incomplete. That's going to set up a 4th down now. The clock does stop. 4:30 to go in the game. Not much time clicked down on that play. It's going to be 4th down and 3. Of course, Highlanders will have to go for it, trailing 14-0 in this game with only 4:30 to go. Ball on the near hash mark. Big 4th down for the defense again. You can hear the crowd. Spencer Kim at quarterback. Looks to his right. Looks to his left. Trying to tell his teammates what the play is, and the crowd trying to get so loud that he can't communicate. Here's the snap. Back to pass. Throws to his right. Got a man open and got the catch. Metlin and a host of tacklers will tackle him, but not before they get the 1st down on 4th down. Only 7 seconds tick down before they move the chains and start the clock again. And again, no huddle offense for the Highlanders, who have just made a big 4th down conversion there to 1st down. All right, here we go. Out of the pro set, 1st down. Kim drops the snap out of the shotgun and falls on top of the football. He's covered by the Timberwolves, and that'll set up 2nd down, and the clock keeps ticking down. 4:09, 4:08, 4:07 to go in the game. 14-0 Fort Bragg. Francis comes out now on defense, as the Timberwolves have more of a prevent defense in there. 2nd down at about 15. The ball at the Timberwolves 38-yard line. Again, out of the pro set, Spencer Kim at the shotgun for Piedmont. He gets a snap. He's back to pass. He's got some time. Now he's in a hurry, and he's hit and dropped as Jacob Clark, almost like a man taking down a bull in a rodeo, and he might be hurt.
Jacob Richard on the sack for the Highlanders.
Clark is slow getting up. He's the one that made the stop that time, and he's still down. It's going to be 3rd down and long. And Clark now is brought up by one of his teammates, Harrion. Coaching staff, one of them goes out there. He's really an anchor on the defense. Don't want anything wrong with him, and he's running off the field now under his own power, so he appears to be okay. Boy, what a big sack that was. It's going to be 3rd down now and about 20. Call it 22 yards to go for Piedmont. Clock running, 3:35 to go in the game. The official trying to get the clock running. Now it goes. So 3rd and a whole bunch of yardage now for Piedmont. Out of that pro set they come. Kim in shotgun, takes the snap. Rolling this way now to his left. Throws. His pass is intercepted. No! It's dropped by Josh LeBeau. He took his eye off the football because he thought he saw the sideline and was going to try and not only intercept that pass, but maybe take it the other way. It's going to be 4th down now and 22 yards.
4th and all the way to Sherwood Road.
LeBeau, that's okay. You know, you get excited sometimes and take your eye off the ball. And Piedmont still has some life. 3:19 to go in the game, trailing 14-0. 4th down and 22. The ball at the Timberwolves 35-yard line. Spencer Kim takes the snap, throws it deep, way over the middle. His pass is intercepted by Todd Wall at the 10-yard line. But there's a penalty flag down. There is a penalty flag in the backfield. Piedmont's coach is pointing at Fort Bragg.
Holding. Offense number 64.
Nope. That penalty is against Piedmont. And the interception stands. So with 3:12 to go in the game, the Timberwolves will have it at the 10-yard line as Todd Wall makes a big interception. Kim that time had a man down there, but that was basically going to be a battle for the football, and Todd Wall won it. So first down Timberwolves at their own 10-yard line. Now with 3:12 to go in the game, they want to protect the football. So here we go. Smith alone back behind Ashby. And Ashby's just going to keep it right up the middle as he follows his center and gets out to about the 15-yard line, keeping that clock ticking down. 3 minutes to go here in this game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0. I'm Lindy Peters. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM on a Saturday, and hope you're enjoying it. First round of the North Coast Section playoffs. The Timberwolves leading it 14-0 over the Piedmont Highlanders. Second down now and 6. Ball at the 15-yard line. Fort Bragg has it deep in their own territory. Ashby watches the clock, lets as much tick down as he can, gives it to Smith, trying the right side, and he is tripped up just across the 15 to about the 16-yard line.
Tackle made by number 38, William Meredith.
And this slick field, if anything, has made it more difficult for that speedster to cut the corner and get upfield. But he's had plenty of yardage tonight. Again, I don't have a stat man. He has not been in the end zone yet, but he has certainly cranked out over 100 yards tonight, I'm sure. The 2 touchdowns were scored by Brandon Palmer and by Ty Vaughn. Both of them were on passes from quarterback Ty Ashby. We're under 2 minutes to go in this game. Third down and about 5. Fort Bragg has called a timeout. So the Timberwolves have called a timeout, and we want to give a shout out to the Fort Bragg Volunteer Fire Department. A PA announcer here has done that, and we want to do that too. Each and every game, the Fort Bragg Volunteer Fire Department has several members of the Volunteer Fire Department that show up here with an emergency vehicle just in case there is an injury for one of the players on the field. And if there's a problem with anyone in the stands for that matter, there's always a good crowd up here at Timberwolves Stadium, and it's always great to see the emergency vehicle and the Fort Bragg Volunteer Fire Department here as well. And oftentimes we get members of our Fort Bragg Police Department that come up as well, and it's such a great community event up here that folks are able to enjoy themselves, and the entire community shows up, including our safety folks.
Sometime tomorrow, we're not sure, but you can also hear it on the radio.
So here we go, folks. It's third down. The Timberwolves going to try and keep things going here with 1:55 to go in the game. And boy, everybody jumped. The Timberwolves looked like they might have been trying to draw them off sides, but unfortunately they may have jumped themselves. And so it's a 5-yard penalty against the Timberwolves. And it's going to be third down and 9 now.
Offensive line. 5-yard penalty, replay
with a nice 14-0 lead. That's a penalty that you could probably accept. Clearly, I think they were going to try and draw the Highlanders off sides that time, but the snap count may have backfired a little bit there. So it's going to be third down and 9. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Fort Bragg leading 14-0. As the Timberwolves are going to hopefully get past this round 1. We don't know who they're going to play. They're seated in a bracket there that we'll know after tonight who their opponent will be if they're able to hang on and win. All right, here we go. Back to action. This is Zach Smith around the left side. Breaks a tackle. He's out into the open field. He's got a first down across the 20 down to the 24-yard line. No penalty flags. And with 1:47 to go, Piedmont's going to have to start thinking about taking timeouts now. Not sure how many they have left.
Piedmont.
Well, there you have it.
Charge timeout.
That is their first timeout. They'll have 2 more, and the only thing they could do now is try and stop the clock because the Timberwolves, after that first down, just have to run 4 more plays, and they'll win this game. They lead it 14-0.
Specializing in school grounds.
I want to once again thank all the folks that helped make this broadcast possible and defray the cost to the section to be able to rebroadcast this game on the Skunk, including Randall Heating and Sheet Metal, Fort Bragg Transmission, The Woods, Bob Bruce Dentistry, Purity Supermarket, Ryan Perkins, Attorney at Law, Kaido Fisheries, Lawton Brake and Wheels, Team Insurance and Financial Services, Angelina and TW's Grill and Bar, and the Jerry Mello Foundation. Thanks to all those community folks for making this broadcast possible. And all of them wishing the Timberwolves good luck tonight. So far, things are looking good. First and 10, a minute 47 to go in the game. 14-0 Fort Bragg. Timberwolves have it at their own 25-yard line. On the far hash mark, Ashby over center, takes the snap, gives to Smith. Smith is stopped right at it, and there's a penalty flag down. That might be against Piedmont. Let's see. For a horse collar tackle. It looked like Smith got grabbed from behind his shoulder pads.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense number 51, blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, Gavin Mosconi's been called for a blow to the head. That's what the call is. That's a 15-yard penalty, and that's a first down for the Timberwolves. And with a minute 41 to go in the game, Fort Bragg gets it all the way out to the 40-yard line, leading 14-0. And we'll assume that that was accidentally inflicted. I didn't see it. It looked to me more like Smith was grabbed by the back of his shoulder pads, what's called a horse collar tackle, which is at one time was legal but isn't anymore. So after the penalty, it's still first down. A minute 23 to go in this game. 14-0 Fort Bragg, as Tyler Ashby now just needs to run the clock out. He takes the snap, rolling to his right. Looks like he's going to throw. Now he's going to run. Still on his feet. Is tackled after picking up maybe a couple yards. A minute 8 to go in the game. The clock stops. I think Piedmont has called a timeout.
Piedmont, that's their second charge.
They're going to have one more timeout to go. It's going to be second down and 8, and we'll just keep it right here. I want to thank once again our radio engineer back at our studios, John Rio, and our technical engineer out here on site at Timberwolves Stadium, Terry Vaughn, for helping to put this rebroadcast of this playoff game together for you. I'm Andy Peters, and we've been following the Timberwolves all season long. It's been a great football season, and it looks like it's not over yet. If Fort Bragg hangs on and wins this game, and by all indications they will, the Fort Bragg Timberwolves are moving on to the next round of the playoffs. You might remember a couple of years ago, actually 3 years ago now, 2009, the Timberwolves went all the way and won the North Coast Section Division IV football playoffs behind Jacob Chimolino and a fine football team back then. Cody Lowe, great member of that team as well. This team now has a chance to get to the next round. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Second down and 8. Ashby gives to Smith. Smith over the right side and has got some yardage to about the 48-yard line. And with a minute 2 seconds to go, Piedmont uses their final timeout. And so it's going to be third down and about 4. And once again, we'll just keep it right here during this timeout. If the Timberwolves are able to get a first down on this play, that's the end of the game without Piedmont getting the football back. If they're not, the clock will still run down quite a bit since Piedmont has used their last timeout. There's only a minute to go in this game, so it's almost a formality, but you never know. It is high school football, and stranger things have happened, so the Timberwolves just have to make sure they don't make any mistakes, no penalties, and that they hold on to the football. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually run a play here and maybe even try and get a first down and just end it at that point. We'll see. Third and 4. Ashby brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Over center he comes. He gives it to Zach Smith, and Zach Smith drives himself forward and has the first down. That's the game right there, folks, because Piedmont can't stop the clock. The Timberwolves, if they want, don't even have to do anything but take a knee. As the first down gets across midfield to the Piedmont 49-yard line, and number 28 has done it again. That should do it. All Ashby has to do at this point is take the snap and take a knee, and that's the game. So up to the line of scrimmage he comes as they wait. let that play clock run down to the final second. And 3 men behind him. Ashby takes the knee, and that's the ball game. Piedmont can't stop it. I think he might have to take one more knee. I think there might have been more than 35 seconds to go when he took that knee, so he'll have to take one more knee, which is why the sidelines now, they're congratulating each other, although it's not officially over. This will do it here. Fort Bragg will win this game 14-0. There's the snap, there's the knee, and that's going to do it. So Tyler Ashby with 2 touchdown passes, one to Brandon Palmer, covered about 37 yards. The second to Tyvon, covering 45 yards, and the Fort Bragg defense does the rest. We'll take one final break and come back and wrap it up. The final from Timberwolves Stadium in this North Coast Section playoff game. Fort Bragg 14, Piedmont nothing. We'll return in just a moment. Welcome back here to Timberwolves Stadium. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves have defeated the Piedmont Highlanders 14-0, the final score, and the Timberwolves have won the first game here of the North Coast Section playoffs. Their next opponent, as I mentioned a few minutes back, we're not sure who it's going to be, but we're all set to get excited about next week. The Timberwolves football season is not over. It continues for another week. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM. Now, stick around. We have a great interview with Coach Roy Perkins to close out our broadcast here on this Saturday morning. We talked to him about this year, about this game tonight, and about the Fort Bragg Timberwolves and how he feels as their head coach. For the Skunk FM, I'm Lindy Peters. Stick around for our interview with head coach Roy Perkins. The Timberwolves football season is not over. They win it tonight over the Piedmont Highlanders 14-0. For the Skunk FM, I'm Lindy Peters. Stick around now as we talk to Coach Roy Perkins.
We're here with head coach Roy Perkins of the Fort Bragg Timberwolves, an outstanding season. You got here pretty late before the season started. What, 2 weeks before the season started?
Well, the week of the first game.
The week of the first game is when he arrived, and the team ended up 9-1, undefeated in league play. Beat 2 very good teams coming in here, St. Helena, Middletown, and Willits too. 3 good teams in our league, 2 of which are in the playoffs, both Middletown and St. Helena. So take us through the season as you progress, because obviously you lost up there at St. Bernard's early in the season, and after that you just sort of got on a roll. Right. And how was it for you as a coach? Because boy, that was an amazing coaching job. I think.
It was basically having a whole bunch of real good kids. I knew there was good kids here. I was actually working with the JVs for a couple weeks before the head coaching varsity job opened up. So I know these kids, and the program has been fairly consistent even after Jack left last year. So the pieces were in place here. So we just had to get things lined up right, had to get the kids in the right position, give them some direction is all we did. And those first couple of weeks, I mean, they were absorbing stuff, things were thrown at them at an incredible pace. That's why we started kind of slow. The first week I implemented the offense, couldn't even put the 3-5 in until the second week. So these kids have been progressing each week because they are now getting the reps in the offense and defense that we installed at the beginning of the year. So we are getting better and better and better.
So you changed the offense right away.
We
came here a week before the season and changed the entire offense.
Had to change the offense from what they were doing.
Spread.
Yeah, spread type thing. Yeah, so we implemented the veer. So offensively, we had to do that to survive the first couple of weeks. The defense could wait a week, and then when we went to St. Bernard's, which was a great team, we first ran the 3-5, and we did a real good job against them. So then the next week, after we'd run that defense for that week, we progressed, and defensively, we have just gotten better and better and better each week.
We beat Clear Lake, you beat Lower Lake,
Clear Lake,
Lower Lake. Middletown, and you beat them for the first time since 1999. How did that feel?
Yeah, that was great. Of course, I haven't been here, that was a great feeling, though. I mean, I knew it was a big game, and everybody was pretty thrilled about that, especially the way it happened. We dominated the game, and then we fell behind at the end and had to come back and win. But again, we only gave up 14 points. The key is that we don't give up many points, except in Willits' game, which was the which was the
well, that was a comeback of the year, 32-13.
Yeah.
And here again, you did running the veer option offense, which basically takes a lot of time off the clock, and you can't really get a lot of yardage unless you got a kid like Zach Smith. We'll get to him in a moment. But you pulled out your passing game, and here they went right downfield and scored the winning touchdown.
Yeah,
Thrilled the crowd.
And we can throw, but when you have a great defense, you only do enough offensively to win. We don't have to take many chances because our defense is great, our special teams is real good. So I'm only going to do enough offensively to win the game. So at that point, we had to throw the ball to win. We can throw the ball. It's just that it's a little riskier, and I'm not going to do it unless we absolutely have to because we play great defense.
All right, you get all the way through the season. You beat St. Helena in overtime. You clobber Cloverdale. Here we are tonight.
Right.
The playoffs start. A whole new season.
Yes.
It's a little wet out there. It might be raining. It's chilly. The wind's swirling a little bit. Piedmont Highlanders. What do you think?
Well, we love the weather because they're from the Bay Area. They play on a turf field. They're from a different type of social economic background, perhaps you might say. I think we have some real tough kids that are used to playing in the mud, and I think the field conditions will be great. Our kids love it. They want to go out there and play in the mud. I think, or I'm hoping that it'll slow them down a little bit. They're not.
They run the spread, right?
They run the spread. They want to throw the ball. They need real good footing for their timing routes, and I'm hoping the field will affect that.
All right.
And I hope the cold weather will be more to our liking than theirs. So,
welcome to the sticks.
Yes, welcome
as
to the
we
sticks.
like to say at Fort Bragg.
Yes, hopefully we play real well, but I do want to say that this team, they have exceeded everybody's expectations. For us to win the league championship and be undefeated in the league is a very special thing.
How about Zach Smith?
Oh, Zach Smith he's a unique kid. He's a game changer, game breaker, and I knew that when I first saw him. And he's also a great team leader, tough kid, plays great defense, and he's very humble. He's not a kid that's going to talk about himself at all, but he definitely has a different speed. You watch him run, and then you've seen it a few times. All of a sudden, there's a different gear there, and he's gone. It's like I don't know that he knows he has it, but he's one of those kids that has football speed.
And he almost could play touch football and score these same touchdowns because no one sometimes even touches him, even though they're right there in a position to tackle.
And they can't touch him. And he has a combination. I think his height actually is an advantage to him.
He's very small.
Because players are they're used to tackling at a certain height, and they have to be lower to tackle him because he's so strong in his upper body that he runs right through tackles also. So it's kind of a unique situation. He's very quick but extremely strong.
And he's been really the highlight of the offense.
He has been the offensive
defense.
highlight.
It's just been a total team defense. You've got you're down 3. You might want to talk about them.
Well, they're a key to everything. The 3 guys down, they don't make many tackles. I had to sell them, and it wasn't hard to sell them on the fact that they were the guys that win the games. The 3 guys, Donaville, Harrion, and Clark, are the guys that win the game. They don't make a lot of tackles, but they actually take up 2 blockers apiece. So it's like we're playing defense with 13 players or 14 players. So our linebackers don't get blocked much. So those guys are not making the tackles. You don't see their names in the stats, but when you watch our films, you realize that they are just a dominant threesome and a key to everything. They absorb all the blockers from the other team, and that's what's made it all work. They're 3 kids that play extremely hard, very athletic, and very selfless. They're aggressive, passionate, selfless kids, just want to win.
All right.
And they really don't care who's getting the credit.
Now, you don't throw the ball much, but Tyler Ashby, who runs that veer option, is very good with the football. He can run. He's got a good arm.
Yes, he does.
Todd
Waugh has been an excellent receiver.
Great progression throughout the year, and he's just really looked good on defense, too.
We can throw the ball when we need to, and I'm sure at some point, maybe tonight, we need to throw it. And when we need to, we will. There's parts of the offense I have been saving each week because I don't want to show everything we have as we progress in the season.
Right.
So hopefully we get an opportunity in this game, and if we're fortunate enough to win tonight, in the next one to do a few more things offensively.
Now, what's it mean to you to come back here to Fort Bragg, take over this team, get all the way to this position tonight?
Well,
undefeated in league, seated higher than St. Helena, seated higher than Middletown. Willis doesn't even make the playoffs.
Right.
And here comes Fort Bragg, who I think a lot of folks thought might be in the middle of the league this year.
Right.
And here you are tonight, and you're from Fort Bragg.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well, you have to remember that I left here 10 years ago, but the standard that we're at right now is what I expected. See, because of what we did years ago and with years and years of Jack, these kids expect to win. So I'm not really surprised by this, but it's an incredible feeling. Of course, this being my hometown, it's been amazing, and I've done this 32 years now. I mean, the other day I was thinking, my God, I've got 2 assistant coaches that weren't born when I started coaching. So to be in this situation here, I am absolutely blessed, and these kids have been just priceless to me. These are a great group of kids. They have worked hard. They have been no problems whatsoever. They're having the time of their lives, and I couldn't be happier.
And to put it in perspective, 32 years, yeah. I was doing the games back then and used to interview you on the radio. Ronald Reagan was president.
Isn't that amazing? My gosh, yeah, that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
Well, folks, thanks, Roy. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
Good luck, and what a great season. Congratulations from the entire community of Fort Bragg.
We have
outstanding year.
We have some great kids. This is a great community coach, and these are great kids. So they need the credit, and I'm serious about that.